Hello everyone, hope you all are doing great and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going to be talking about SwiftUI and how to resize images in SwiftUI. So the focus is going to be the best practices to resize your image so you can keep the aspect ratio and how you can actually basically better visualize your images, specifically the larger images in your view. Okay, all right, so we're gonna do that, but before we start I want to pitch in about devtechie.com really quickly. So if you haven't visited the website, go ahead and give it a go, devtechie.com, and it has many new things. So we have a whole bunch of video courses that you can actually subscribe, and they're not only SwiftUI. They're some UI kit, and we're working on a few stuff in the background for you that we are going to be releasing soon that you're gonna like. So go ahead and sign up for these free courses, at least that you have use them for your learning. And there's another thing, there's a blog here which actually talks about many many aspects of SwiftUI space itself, going really closer look in detail look into certain components. So go ahead and give this a go, and while you're there, join our community. Basically just subscribe, and whenever we post something new, you're gonna get the alert. Okay, with that we are gonna go back into our video. Okay, so we're talking about SwiftUI images. Now SwiftUI actually whenever you use image view, the image try to basically take as much space as possible. So the view itself, the image view itself, actually tries to put the entire image onto the screen, even if there's a big image. So let me show you the example what I'm talking about. So I've got this DevTechie logo right here that I'm going to use for this example. So I'm going to actually let me change this. Instead of alerts, I'm going to say image resizing in SwiftUI 3. And so when we actually launch this on simulator, we make sure that we are running the right view or right launch screen. Okay, so I'm gonna put image DT there and launch the app, and what you're gonna notice is as soon as our view is loaded, our image, wherever it decides to appear, it's only shown part of it. Basically it's by default this SwiftUI image view tries to basically adapt to the size of the image. Now image will render it in its actual size, which can be larger than the device. So if you're trying to show your logo, it actually is not very helpful. Now what are the things that you can do? Well, you can actually resize the image with a modifier called Resizable. Now if you put Resizable modifier, you are going to get something like this. Now you actually get to present your brand, like in this case we are presenting DevTechie, but notice how it's stretched, and you wouldn't I wouldn't like that. Okay, so what else can we do? Well, we can actually accommodate we can respect the aspect ratio for the image by accommodating the image in the view to make sure the aspect ratio is retained and our brand is represented in a right way. Okay, how do we do that? Just another modifier called aspect ratio, and we can set this to content mode fit. Okay, very similar to UI image view if you're coming from that. And there we go. I'm much more happy to see this version of DevTechie than previous two versions, because you can see my brand more clearly. Okay, there's another way to do this. Okay, just want to show you that you, instead of doing typing that long typing that long aspect ratio, you can do scaled to fit which is essentially gonna give you the same effect. Okay, so scale to fit is the same effect that you can actually produce with the aspect ratio content mode fit. All right, I'm gonna go back to the content mode and I'm gonna show you another thing. Let's say if you want to fill the if you want to change the content mode to fill and fill the screen by maintaining the aspect ratio. Now this is slightly different from what we did the other time. So if I rotate, you can see the aspect ratio is maintained, but our brand, or our image, is trying to fill the space as much as possible. Now if you look at this image in the landscape mode, you're gonna see it looks much prettier than the portrait mode. Okay, so that's the aspect fill, and you can achieve that same thing with scale to fill as well. So let's go ahead and give it a try, and I'm gonna do the same thing here just to show you that they're two equal, sort of like a twin brothers to themselves. Well, all right, so let's keep going forward. I'm gonna go back into aspect fill. Okay, so I want to leave it there. Then what I want to do is I want to actually give this a frame. So frame is actually giving this basically a position, a size onto the view. So I want to say I feel 300 by 300 would do a justice to this. Okay, now for this I want to show you the canvas, because what I'm trying to show you has a twist to it. Okay, so I want to show you that right now. All right, so if I select the image, notice that we actually did the aspect ratio content mode fill. We did the frame. We actually defined that width is going to be 300, which is actually being honored here, and the height is going to be 300, which is being honored here, but the aspect ratio is being maintained. Okay, and the actual frame size is being displayed by this blue rectangle right here. Okay, but our image is still spilling over. Okay, now the images they don't clip by themselves. All right, because they don't want to lose you don't want to lose the content, if that's not the intention. Okay, for that reason clipping does not happen automatically. So in case if you want to basically clip the content to keep the content, show the content within that frame, then you gotta use this clipped modifier. Okay, now I can reduce the height, and notice by reducing the height, our aspect ratio is being maintained. Okay, and if I remove the width part, then the system honors basically the height and keeps the aspect ratio and adjust the size to 200. So height is still 200, and what your view is trying to do is trying to take as much space possible to show the entire image. Okay, now this sometimes can prove tricky for screens that go a little bit small. So for example, look at this one. So here you have 200 in the height, and you have in the entire width. You might not want that, the space is basically images being cut out and stuff like that. So those are a few things that you gotta keep in mind. But these are some of the things that you have in your basically in your tool bag to use to make sure you actually resize your image by honoring the aspect ratio. Now if I change this to fit, okay, and if I run this right now, notice the change that's gonna take place. So as you can see, between the fill and the fit, when you do image fit, your height is still being honored, and the width is being adopted, but the image is making sure that the entire, like the view is making sure that the entire image fits into that space. All right, so that was a quick look into how you can actually make sure your images resize to the so you can actually display them in a right way by maintaining the aspect ratio and honoring the frame for the width and height. All right, with that, we have reached the end of this video. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe, explore our channel, go give a visit to devtechie.com. I promise you're not gonna be disappointed. Okay, with that, we are gonna meet you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much and keep watching. Thank you.